cooperate with them, but they.
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
And I will call this Board of Moffat County Commissioners regular meeting to order on Tuesday, September 9th, 2025. Chair would move to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And the chair would move to approve the consent agenda, items A through J.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. That moves us on to public comment. If anybody has anything, morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
My name is Tracy Winder. I'm a resident of Moffat County and I live in the city of Craig. Colorado has until September 21st to comply with President Trump's executive order regarding federal requirements to secure elections, and the president promised more is coming. This could be painful for Colorado since Trump announced that he's moving Space Command headquarters to Alabama in part because of Colorado's mail-in voting system, which creates, quote, automatically crooked elections, unquote. Well, he's right. Here are snippets from a recent article written by a cybersecurity executive with extensive experience in digital security, who is a law enforcement veteran and former chairman of the Town of Castle Rock Election Commission. And he's talking about what's already happened. Electronic voting machines operated by private companies with no meaningful oversight allowed vote totals to be manipulated in real time. Machines were connected to the internet. Software updates applied just days before the election, violating protocol and state law. Every effort to investigate was suppressed. Audits were blocked. Whistleblowers were silenced. The Department of Justice looked the other way. Courts refused to hear evidence. Media and tech collaborated to shut down dissent. The corruption runs deeper than most people imagine, from unelected bureaucrats to intelligence officials to media executives. The people who control this country understand that if the American people regain control of their elections, everything comes crashing down. They fear exposure and real legal consequences and investigations that are not run by corrupt prosecutors. They fear accountability and a population that stops obeying out of habit and starts questioning out of principle. If you can vote but cannot verify how your vote is counted, you do not live in a republic. If your government can censor facts, rig outcomes, and never be held accountable, then it does not serve you, it rules you. This is a fight between self-governance and technocratic tyranny, between transparency and propaganda, between law and lawlessness. President Trump is right. We need to return to what works. In-person voting on Election Day with a valid ID, paper ballots, transparency in vote counting and tabulation, harsh penalties for fraud, manipulation, and interference. Anything short of this is a concession to corruption. The clock is ticking. The people who stole 2020 are not going to surrender power unless it is taken back by a citizenry that refuses to live under lies. Unquote. Commissioners, please be ready to do the right thing for our country by complying with constitutionally supported federal law. Our votes are being compromised. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else for public comment?
Public comment.
You're on our agenda.
We're farther down the agenda.
All right. Any general discussion from the board? All right. Then we'll move on to the Augusta Wallahan chapter of the National Society of the Daughters of the American Revolution. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm Ann Dodd, and I am the registrar for the Augusta Wallahan chapter of the DAR.
And I'm Luann Klein, and I'm the regent of the chapter.
Between the end of the Revolutionary War and February 1787, the United States was governed under the Articles of Confederation. These were found to need significant revisions by the delegates attending the Federal Convention of 1787 in Philadelphia. It was determined that a new government was needed. After months of delegates voicing their opinions, a compromise was reached. The Constitution gave states proportional representation in the House and equal representation in the Senate. The central government's power was expanded, but protected the prerogatives of the states. The final document separated the government in three parts: legislative, executive, and judicial. The Constitution was signed September 17th, 1787 by the majority of the delegates. Over the next few months, 9 states ratified it, making the Constitution the law of the land.
We have a Constitution Week proclamation, September 17th through 23rd, 2025 is Constitution Week. Whereas the Constitution of the United States of America, the guardian of our liberties, embodies the principles of limited government in a republic dedicated to rule by law. And whereas September 17, 2025 marks the 238th anniversary of the framing of the Constitution of the United States of America by the Constitutional Convention, and whereas it is fitting and proper to accord official recognition to this magnificent document and its memorable anniversary, and to the patriotic celebrations which will commemorate it, and whereas Public Law 915 guarantees the issuing of a proclamation each year by the President of the United States of America, designating September 17th through 23rd as Constitution Week. Now, therefore, and we put you guys' names in, Melody Villard, Tony Boyer, and Donald Broom, by virtue of the authority vested in me as Commissioner of Moffat County in the state of Colorado, do hereby proclaim the week of September 17th through 23rd as Constitution Week, and ask our citizens to join the Augusta Wallahan Chapter National Society of the American Revolution, Daughters of the American Revolution, to reaffirm the ideals of the framers of the Constitution had in 1787 by studying the Constitution and reflecting on the privilege of being an American, and with the rights and responsibilities which the privilege involves, vigilantly protecting the freedoms guaranteed to us through this guardian of our liberties, remembering that lost rights may never be regained. In witness thereof, I've set my hand and caused the seal of Moffat County to be affixed this 9th day of September in the year of our Lord 2025.
We'd also like to invite everybody to come celebrate with us on September 17th on the corner of Victory and Yampa, and ring bells at noon for 15 minutes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Chair, I would make a motion to designate September 17th through the 23rd as Constitution Week.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Thank you. All right. And now we have a interested party in our library board of trustees. Kaylee Greenwood has submitted a letter of interest. Is that finishing someone's term? Okay, thank you. The standoff.
No, oh, you got it?
Jeez. What's the board's pleasure?
Well, we were waiting for you to ask.
Well, I'll make the motion to
Yeah.
appoint Kaylee A. Greenwood to the Walker County Library.
Second.
Okay, motion and a second. I don't know if I could ask for further conversation there. All in favor?
I,
Aye. Motion carries. We have a public hearing at 8:45. Neil, do you think you can be done in 4 minutes? Or should, all right,
Morning, Commissioners.
good morning.
This is in regards to the continuation of the gate project out at the safety center. This is basically the final piece of that, putting in the electronic gates. So we, back in August, we put out an RFP for contractors to bid on the public safety center's security gates. We had one contractor show up to our pre-bid meeting, which was held on the 14th of August. And submissions were due last Thursday, where we held a bid opening. And Taylor Fence did submit for $82,846. So I'm asking for the commissioners to approve that bid for $82,846.
That doesn't include if you change it. That's the you put in on that back. Option to change one 20-foot gate to 24-foot gate, is that not?
Yes, that is going to happen. So I guess 83,000, which we're budgeted for. We have $180,000 set aside for this project still. So yeah, my apologies for that.
Thanks for the clarification. Any further questions for Neil? What is the board's pleasure?
Much as it pains me. I'll make a motion to award the bid for the gates and safes to Taylor Fence in the amount of $83,846.
second.
Okay, any further discussion? I'll just say that the fence that is being installed looks very nice.
Looks really good.
Be nice to have that extra security there.
Being closed now.
Yep.
Needs to get done.
Well, what it cost, it better look nice.
If it's cheap, it isn't good. If it's good, it isn't cheap. All right. All in favor?
I,
Aye. Motion carries. All right.
Thanks, Nick.
Thank you.
We do have our public hearing at 8:45, and by the time I get done reading the script, we will be at 8:45. So I'm going to go ahead and start that. Let the record show that today's posted public hearing regarding the following, J.J. Scott Minor Subdivision and Powell Minor Subdivision. Letters were sent to adjacent landowners. Information was posted on the county website, and legal ads were run on August 20th and August 27th. Once the public hearing has been declared open, I will ask Candace Miller, Planning and Zoning Coordinator, to present the BOCC the request as submitted. Once the presentation is complete, the commissioners may ask questions or make comments. I will then ask the audience if there's anyone who wants to testify either for or against. Any citizen of Moffett County may testify once the public hearing has been declared and all information has been presented. For those who want to testify, you'll be asked to approach the commissioners, state your name for the record, and you'll be given 3 minutes to present your testimony either for or against. Erin Miller will be the timekeeper today, and she will notify the BOCC and the speaker that 20 seconds remain before your time is up. No decisions will be made during the public hearing. This is an opportunity for any of you to provide testimony in favor of or opposition of the proposed request. The commissioners have the option of asking questions or answering questions related to the topic during the hearing process. Once all testimony has been heard, the public hearing will be declared closed and we'll go back to regular session. I will then refer back to the board for discussion and a decision on said proposal. With that, Candace Miller, Morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. So first up, I have an application for minor subdivision. Name of that minor subdivision is the J.J. Scott Minor. This is the sketch prelim. We have a 32.35 acre parcel that will be divided into 4 lots. Those lots consist of one 5.07, one 5.01, one 5.01, and the larger lot of 19.35, 435. Lots 1 through 3 have access on County Road 7. Lot 1 has an existing residence with a well. The other 2 lots along County Road 7 will have access to city water as it runs directly in front of those lots. Their intention with the subdivision is to sell one of the 5-acre parcels to one of their children to build at some point in the future, and at which time they express interest in city water versus a well, and then express no interest in selling the other parcels, but having them divided in for, future potential. The board reviewed the application. We did have, all of our local agencies were notified. I didn't have any comment from anyone having any concern. We are still in sketch prelim, so the city does have all of the documentation, and said that if they needed to make, we'll have comment from them before we get to final. It was brought to my attention that an existing easement that allows access for another parcel owner was not reflected on that plat. And because the language on the deeded easement reflects one parcel. And so now with the division of the parcel into 4, we've requested that the surveyor reflect that easement through these newly created parcels, so that it is on record. So I don't have that on this version, but he will be providing that revised plat for final approval. And so and then also the Division of Water Resources was notified of the minor subdivision. They had no comments in regard to the subdivision due to the fact that they would not be drilling wells, but they did make comment that the existing wells would be affected by the minor subdivision. So it is the responsibility of the applicant to work with the DWR on an augmentation plan for those existing wells. And they have been made aware of that. I shared that letter from DWR with the landowner. So the board voted.
The existing wells not grandfathered in?
Nope. Anything that's subdivided after 2022 is, if you,
Drill a well on there, but
Nope.
the existing well?
it doesn't matter if you're drilling wells or not. As soon as you subdivide so the way that the existing wells were permitted, so they had a well permitted at 32 acres, and now that's well is sitting on 5 acres. And so anything under 35 acres requires an augmentation plan due to the over appropriation in 22. So nothing's grandfathered. So even, well, I'll cover this next one. Well, so, I think that, from the planning perspective, our applicants are within all of their rights to subdivide their land, and they, submit a completed application, and the best I can do is notify them of the requirements from DWR. But that's
But you're
between the
not-
landowner and DWR.
You're not adding another well.
Yep.
That's,
I think that's the reason that we're not adding another well, and I'm already $200,000 into this augmentation plan. It's just getting a little much there.
Yeah.
So at some point, we just gotta draw the line.
Yeah, I agree. So the board, 3-1, recommended approval of the minor once the easement is reflected on the plat. So when we come to you guys next month with the final, that plat will be corrected to reflect that easement. And then the board will review it again in October, and then it will come to you that second week in October for final.
Okay.
So again, this was just sketch prelim, acknowledging that we've worked through those things.
All right, any further questions for Candace? All right, I will now ask if anyone in the audience wants to testify either for or against S 2504, the JJ Scott minor subdivision. They're not rushing the stand.
Give it a couple minutes, maybe.
Yeah. All right. Hearing no, nothing from the audience, I will go ahead and declare this public hearing closed and refer to my fellow commissioners.
On a sketch prelim, do we have to adjust it? Do we have to approve it?
If we're doing a public hearing, we gotta do something.
So you're gonna bring it back if it goes to final vote?
I know. It's been the process for a very long time. Perhaps we should have a conversation about that.
I've never tried doing a sketch prelim, but I'll make a motion that we approve the sketch prelim and see if it back in when it's final at S 25-4, JJ Scott minor.
So this is all for once the easement is reflected on the plat, right?
Yep.
Go. Second.
And I will add, I believe this process, so when we're going through like a major subdivision with development, this allows the opportunity to make comment so that we can make adjustments at sketch prelim. And so on some of these minors where there's no glaring issues and it's just an approval, it seems like an extra step. But when we get to a major, it allows the board to have comment to make adjustments.
Okay. All right, I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. They do too. Tony?
Yep.
Did you? I didn't hear you.
I
Let me
said
see.
aye.
Okay, all right, so motion carries. I will go back into public hearing for S 2506 Powell Minor subdivision, also a sketch prelim.
So the Powell Minor subdivision, Jerry Powell owns a 268.52 acre parcel. The subdivision consists of two lots, one 7.192 and the other 11.647. So the remaining 250.72 acres remains exempt from subdivision regulations because it's over 35 acres. So these two newly created parcels have access, an existing access off of Highway 13. The intent of the subdivision, they will be selling the smaller parcel and then maybe in the future, the additional parcel to an interested party. They have no intention of drilling a well. As the well that exists on the 250 acre parcel is not a really good well, so they have no intention. They will be hauling water. DWR was also notified, and even though the well exists on a 250 acre parcel, they will have to re-permit that well. And that information has been shared. Board voted to recommend approval. No changes, no conditions. There was no issues, no concerns from any adjacents or local agencies. However, we do have time between sketch prelim and final. So if I did have anything that came across from the notification sent to our local agencies, they can make comment on it up until October, until our meeting in October. But as it sits today, we recommended 3-1 approval.
Any questions for Candace? Other than where that's coming from?
Yeah.
Do we have anybody on Zoom, Brian? We have a ghost. I would, with no further questions for Candace, I would now open it up for anyone in the audience or wherever they're coming from to testify either for or against S 2506 Powell Minor subdivision. Hearing none and seeing no forward motion for the stand, I'll go ahead and declare the public hearing closed and refer back to my fellow commissioners.
Okay, Chair, I make a motion to approve application S-25-06, the minor subdivision sketch prelim with the Jerry Powell.
Okay, motion is second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. No more strange sounds. And then we'll move on to Sheriff's Office. Sheriff Chip McIntyre, discussion regarding school resource officer. Good morning.
Morning.
And Nate, good morning.
Thank commissioners. Thank you for your time today. I'm here with Under Sheriff Businger to request your consideration for a new full-time equivalent position, which would be a school resource deputy. This position would be funded 25% by the school district and 75% by the county. This need arises because the city approached the county and asked the county to fund or partially fund one of the city's school resource officers. And in discussions, I think that funding would be better allocated in a position within the sheriff's office where that deputy is engaging with kids that go to school, obviously in a school in the city, but you know, they live in the county. That school resource deputy is also a great recruiting tool for us to hire future deputies and staff within the sheriff's office. And if the county is going to provide funding for a position, I think it's better allocated if that position is housed within the sheriff's office. And not only can they be used during the school year as a school resource deputy, but we can also use them on their off-duty time or during the summer to patrol the county and provide other law enforcement services. Just to give you this position, like I said, would be a new position and we'd have to advertise to fill it. And they would be paid at the patrol deputy rate. And to give you those numbers, a patrol deputy at a step 6 is $64,625.60. And with retirement and fringe benefits, it's $104,080.65. My recommendation would be that that 25% that the school district fund would be the salary and fringe to include the retirement. And that the school district would end up paying around $26,020.16, and the county obligation would be $78,060.49. Those are the numbers provided by finance. So that is the new full-time equivalent position we're asking for. Brought Under Sheriff Businger along. He's a long-standing school resource officer before we stole him from the city of Craig. So if you have any questions into regard to the school resource officer program, he can help answer those.
So I know the school is given 25% and the county's given 75%. Is there any other monies come in from any grant stuff or anything from any other sources at all?
There are grants out there, but you have to have the position before you can apply for those
Okay.
grants. And
County's never had this position prior, right? This city's
Always been.
or not always, but had to. And this was kind of birthed out of joint services. This idea, this thought. And when they approached, like Sheriff said, we're asking you to pay 50% of our employee, which makes sense, right? But at the same time, I was like, well, man, if we're gonna pay 50%. We'd rather pay 75 and keep one that we can use all summer during hard times, you know, or tough times when people are on vacation and all that kind of stuff. So I went back to joint services before talking to Chip and say, I think we would rather do it ourselves. I mean, an extra 25% is a way better deal, and
Right.
we're all for it, right? So is the police department.
Correct,
Chief Cochran, all on board for that too, right? So.
correct. Yeah, we've never had an SRO before or a school resource deputy. We have assisted in teaching the DARE class. We've had deputies that were certified in DARE and they would assist in that, but not as a school resource officer or deputy.
How long, I mean, we don't know, but how long is it gonna be to, fulfill this, you think?
I don't know how long it'll take. Obviously, we got to post the position and see what applicants we get. We have a hard time filling regular deputy positions, but being that's how this is an SRO position, we may get other more interest in that position. Undersheriff has finished job description and has provided that to HR. So should be ready to go on that as soon as we get approval for the position.
It's terrible that we even have to have this, to be honest with you, but glad we can.
You might have said it, I didn't, you did, I didn't hear it. Now, is that just for the high school or do they go to all the schools?
It's all the schools. Their primary focus is the high school and the middle school, but they go to the elementary schools as well.
And we're not gonna send this one off to get DARE certified. It sounds like we're gonna kind of keep that.
And my suggestion on that is if the school district wants them to be DARE certified, that they pay for that training, that would come out of their budget, not out of our training budget in the future. They currently have the city has a DARE certified police officer that can teach that, and but I don't think that would be our primary focus, no.
Yeah. And I think you could assist them without the training, I'm assuming.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
What's the board's pleasure?
I'll make a motion to approve, the new SRO position for the sheriff office, I guess.
Second.
Okay, motion and second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, motion carries.
Thank you.
Yep. Let us know.
Thanks, guys.
And that will conclude business for today. Next BOCC meeting will be Tuesday, September 23rd at 8:30.